by your creativeness. Talking about creativeness, just before I played us a clip of a poem by Elliot Naz, and we've got him here. We're going to get to speak to him, but let's just remind ourselves of that poem.
Shedding tears for those who shed enough, dropping to the knees because the weight is too much, resting their head on the floor in the rough, and hands out catching the sun rays is tough. Sometimes it's hard to acknowledge the abundance of love. When planets align and realign the spine, snap, crack, pop, elusive time. Never was it linear in the first place. Life is not ours to purchase. Thought patterns ripple, no matter large or little. Don't believe all that you think, perceptions are brittle. Everything, shifting paradigms, connect the dots, plug into flowing ley lines like the jackpot slots. Tap into the cosmos. Rise and shine, my friend, there is no beginning, there is no end. Surface and ascend, I know the act of humanity is hard to comprehend. Do you have the time? There is no time to have, only time to make. See what we can hold, what we hold on to we break. Let go, restore the flow, enjoy your time like the flakes of snow. Because nothing is certain or solid in this world, but the essence will transcend tomorrow. Between the vibrating air and water, the animated earth is sown. Like fallen angels on the snowflake we wait, for tomorrow we dissolve and evaporate.
Like I said before, very, very powerful. So that poem is actually about panic attacks, and it represents the change that takes place in the mind when hope takes over. So, don't take it from me. Let's hear from the writer himself, Elliot Naz, who is also a music producer. So I'm pleased that he joins me now. Hey, Elliot, how are you doing?
Hello, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really, really good. I'm quite moved by your poem.
Oh, bless.
I'm so glad that you sent it in to upload. Why did you decide to write it? And I believe it's also got a film with it too. But yeah, what moved you to write that poem?
I suppose because I'm not most like confident articulator in the room usually, and I usually turn to pen and paper when things come to so whether it's like what I see on the news or experience in my life, like a constant bombardment of information. Sometimes it's what I mean, it gets a bit overwhelming. So I wrote that like 6 years ago, 2015, and it just goes how long it sort of takes for me to, put the boot in and get on with it.
So I guess what you're saying, which is what a lot of artists say, that their artistry is actually their way of communicating what they're feeling when they're not able to communicate in other ways, or they're struggling to get it out in other ways. Is that right?
Exactly that,
yeah.
I suppose, especially creatively, putting yourself out there in that respect, it's a lot harder. Whereas, like, when you're working or whatever, you just sort of, it's easier to crack on and sort of neglect what's going on inside, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. And it takes a lot of bravery and courage to actually put something that I guess is a reflection of you out there to the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what can you share about people who suffer from panic attacks? Like, what is it that you'd want people to learn about that?
I suppose it's just the little things that sort of make the bigger picture. So it's accumulation of many different things that sort of changed in my life. Like, you've got to start with the little things. Simple as like just breathing, you know what I mean? Like, I read something that was pretty summed it up quite well. Was that it's just excitement without breathing, and that really resonated. Like even now I can hear my heart going. So I just remember to breathe. I can't think. I mean, it sounds silly, but simple even. But just those little things, and then. I mean, I could go for a whole list of it, like, but off the top of my head, it's just got to start small,
I get you. Yeah, I understand. And, what made you take something that was so personal and decide to send it into BBC Upload?
That's probably one of my most personal stuff I write, to be honest. I don't know why I just felt compelled to do it, I suppose. I'm just sort of, don't know, man. It's just sad to answer, really. I just felt like I had to share it with people. You know what I mean? Because it's a struggle and you have to fight every day.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen, you also performed your poetry at Say in Manchester. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's you know, again overwhelming. You know what I mean? The energy was just amazing. I haven't done it for like nearly 10 years.
Wow.
Especially spoken word, and especially after we sort of the lockdown and everything, like getting out there, like whether it's like going clubbing or live music or whatever. It's like it's got a special energy about it. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's everyone there saying like top bunch of people. The venue's wicked. Really, I was moved myself. You know, it was really good by everyone there. It's just
you really felt the energy, right?
Yeah, definitely go back and really recommend people to check that out. Definitely.
Fabulous. And poetry is so powerful when you really sit down and listen to the message. It can be so moving sometimes. Well, let's talk about mental health for a moment. If there was one final thing that you really wanted to, say to people around mental health, would you advise them to do what you did and go down the creative route to express themselves?
Yeah, I definitely think creativity's got a lot of, that hasn't maybe been so sort of advised in mainstream sort of education or the rest of it. But definitely, for me it works, but it's subjective. You've got to find your own thing that makes you feel alive again, you know?
I get it, and yours was definitely poetry. Well, Elliot, thanks so much for speaking to me tonight. It's been really good to hear your insight, and thank you for sending it in. Now, I hope that was an encouragement to you if you're a creative. Remember, you can be part of Upload too. Just submit your work to BBC